What is up, everyone? Welcome back to Mainly Movies, the channel where we talk about, well, mainly movies. So welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be reviewing Halloween Kills, directed by David Gordon Green. This story takes place directly after the events of Halloween 2018. Laurie Strode has been taken to the hospital, and a group of previous victims of Michael are now aware that he is loose again. So the residents of Haddonfield team up to stop the evil of Michael Myers. So it's no longer October, and we're still talking about Halloween movies. So if you haven't seen, the video I just posted before this was my Halloween 2 video. That was the last Halloween horror special video I did. I did a whole bunch of them throughout October, and I had a ball making those. They were so much fun. So definitely check out a few of those if you haven't already. But anyway, yeah, we're talking about a Halloween movie in November. I did see this opening night last week, so it was October. It was the 28th of October. I saw it last Thursday night on opening night in VMAX, which is like the big theater near mine, and it was a pretty cool scope to watch it in VMAX. But I do have a lot of things to say about this movie. I'm not going to spoil anything because, again, it only came out last week for us in Australia, so I will be kind of courteous to those who haven't seen it. But this movie is a direct sequel to the 2018 Halloween film, which that movie is a direct sequel to the 1978 classic Halloween film. I won't say direct, but it takes place 40 years with the same characters. They've wiped the slate clean from everything from number 2 onwards is no longer canon. So it's just the original Halloween, the 2018 one, and this one are now like a trilogy. But anyway, I didn't mind the 2018 one. It has a few weird writing issues with like very weird comedy mixed in with it. Other than that, the kills were really good, and it followed a pretty decent story, although there are some plot twists and a few things that maybe they could have done a little bit differently. But other than that, it's a pretty decent film. This film, however, is something different. I'm going to start off with the positives. I guess I'll start off with the easy one. The music slaps. The music is really, really good. So the music is done by John Carpenter and Cody Carpenter, which I believe is his son, and it really, really sounds good. Although it is very, very similar to the 2018 one, and they do use a lot of the same tracks from the 2018 one, it still goes really hard. But the other thing I wanted to talk about is the kills. Now, this is probably the biggest thing about this film that everybody's talking about. This movie is probably one of the goriest in the franchise. It even gives like the Rob Zombie ones a run for their money. But it's not just the kills. When you break down the kills, they're not that violent. It's just the kind of meaning behind the kills are very mean-spirited. And they don't offend me as such, but to some audiences this could be quite offensive. But you don't go into a Halloween movie and not expect kills. There's going to be kills. It's just these ones are a little bit more violent. There's one kill in particular that happens very early on in the movie. It just made my jaw drop. Yeah, it was quite insane. There were also some really, really dumb kills, some like really goofy ones that are just kind of made to make you laugh. I don't really want to get too much into it because it does kind of spoil it. There's a few big kills in the movie. For the most part, they're pretty gory and they're pretty awesome. I mean, the movie is called Halloween Kills, and I feel like the movie focused more on the kills because they are making one next year, Halloween Ends, which I feel like that's going to wrap up a lot of things. This movie was just focusing on Michael Myers just walking around killing people. But sadly, they're my only real positives with the movie. This movie falls flat. I don't like it as much as the 2018 one. The 2018 one I still had mixed feelings about, but that movie looks terrific compared to this movie. Not that this movie is awful, it's just got a lot of silly points it's trying to make. For the most part of the movie, a crowd of people are in the hospital because everybody's panicking and everything. There's a really, really dumb subplot that happens in the hospital in the middle of the movie, which, if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. It's ridiculous. And for the most part, it just takes place in the hospital, and there's characters in this movie that are in the original film. A lot of the kids, the nurse, all of those actors have come back, which is great. but their characters aren't really given much. It's obvious the filmmakers want them to be the ones we're rooting for. They're going after Michael Myers, and they just want to like kill him. They want to knock him out. They want to get revenge for what he did in 1978. And that's the whole point of this movie, is Haddonfield trying to get revenge. But they go about it the completely wrong way. Usually if that's the plot of a film, they would have this big plan. They'd be like, all right, the character's going to go here, 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 and they're going to do this. They're going to set this up. But there was never really a plan. Whether the plan goes well or not, there still needs to be some sort of plan. They're just kind of like, let's just walk around the streets and hope we kind of run into him, and then we'll see what we do from there on. And nothing ever happens with that, and it leads a lot of people just getting killed for no reason. So it's quite stupid. Also, they are beloved characters from the original, like a lot of the kids and the nurse and all these characters that are coming back, but for some reason they write them terribly, and you don't even really like those characters anymore, which kind of sucks because they are beloved characters from the original movie. Also, the third act of this movie, it's a mess. They cram a lot in there because they kind of need to like add something to the next film, but it's just a giant mess, and it's full of really bad decisions. Now in horror movies, that's fine. You can have dumb decisions, and sometimes it works in the movie's favor because they need to kill characters off or whatever. They need those beats, but the decisions are so stupid that it makes the characters stupid. There's so many times where Michael was on the ground, stabbed, beaten, or whatever, and somebody can clearly just come in with anything and just beat him and completely kill him. But they don't want to do that because they know that there's another movie coming, which this isn't a fault for the movie, but it's a fault for the marketing. They announced that Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends are gonna come out. They shouldn't have done that. They should have announced Halloween Kills is coming out, and then a couple of months after this movie comes out, they announce Halloween Ends. But because they announced it doesn't work in this movie's favor. You know nothing really is going to happen, and nothing really does happen in this movie besides just a whole bunch of kills, because we now know that the third movie is coming out, or the fourth movie, I guess. And so I really hate when they do that. They really got to think. Studios just have to think a little bit to tell you. I know they want to kind of get you excited and pumped that 2 more Halloween movies are coming out, but it would work in this movie's favor if they didn't announce the next one until after this movie releases. So yeah, sadly this movie is it's not up to par with what it should have been. They could have done a lot more with this movie. Another thing that really pissed me off with this film is like mixing timelines up with the original, and they had to explain how the original should have ended because number 2 isn't canon, like the original number 2 1981 film, the one I just covered recently. Because that movie's no longer canon, they had to come up with their own ending, and that's at the very start of the movie, and then they have to mix in timelines with characters, and it's just like it doesn't, it makes sense, but for people who just want to watch Michael kill, it doesn't really matter. And they just added that stuff in just because it wasn't that great. If I'm gonna sit down and watch the Halloween movies or these David Gordon Green ones, I don't know. I don't even know what to call this, like this order where it's the original 2018, 2020, and a 2022 one. I don't even know what to call that order. But if I'm gonna watch that order, I guess I will watch Halloween Kills, but it's one that you can definitely skip because not much really happens at all. So yeah, that's my review on Halloween Kills. I guess I'm probably gonna have to, if I'm gonna give it a rating, I actually haven't done a rating for a while now, for a whole month pretty much. But if I'm gonna have to give Halloween Kills anything, it's probably gonna have to be a 4 out of 10. The kills and the music hold it up. Judy Greer, I guess, is okay in the movie. Laurie Strode is a terrible character in this film, but every scene with her is in the hospital, which is fair enough. I don't mind, and I don't even care if, Michael goes to the hospital or not, because, I know they don't want to do anything like the original Halloween 2 did. You don't even have to do that, but just the scenes with Laurie Strode in the hospital, there is actually an interesting part with her where she thinks that Michael is dead because after the original movie, and so they're afraid to tell her. They know he's out there, she doesn't know, and they're afraid to tell her. I thought that was actually an interesting kind of point, but then they tell her pretty early on, and then for the rest of the movie she just looks out a glass window and says these monologues, which is really, really annoying. Her character's just really annoying. Every time she's on the camera, you just want that scene to end and you want to go back to Michael stomping people's heads in. But yeah, this movie it just wasn't up to par like the others were. So yeah, I guess go see Halloween Kills if you want to. I don't really recommend it. You can definitely miss out on this. You won't be missing out on much. For the kills, it's definitely worth it, and the music is pretty good. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Stay tuned. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.